What's goody, fam? It's your favorite Cuzzos D,
And your boy DJ G.
and you are not vibing with.
This Drinks on Me podcast, baby.
Yes, sir. Pull up, niggas.
What up?
Pull up. Hey, yo, what we got going tonight?
Yo, so tonight, man, I thought we would discuss when is enough. You know what I'm saying? When is it enough? Like, and that's on every scale of it, man. Not just like, oh man, I'm fed up with some shit. Most people talk about fed up, but that ain't really what I'm talking about right now. What I'm talking about is when you get to that point in your life where you didn't have that growth and you can look at things and say, well, I got enough money. You know what I'm saying? I might not be rich, but I got enough of that. I got enough education. You know what I'm saying? I might not be the smartest nigga in the world, but I got enough of that. You look at your spouse and you say, that's enough for me. I don't have to go no further than this. When do you get to them points where enough is enough? Not fed up now, but enough being enough that okay, I got what I need. Now, how can I transition that into my purpose and push it forward? You feel what I'm saying, D?
Very
Because a lot of people get on that fed up tip.
That's a
I'm fed
loaded
up with
question.
It is a loaded question. It is. That's why I put it here, because I feel like this is the best place to shoot it. You know what I'm saying? We shooting all rounds question. Right now.
Especially one, you have to learn distinguishing between fed up and
right and enough.
I guess enough in the context of satisfied. Or
right. In the context of satisfied, because complete. When you think about it, D, like you just said, right? A lot of folks, the fed up don't mean satisfied.
No, it don't. That means something's missing.
Right.
Or you tired of something.
Right. So that's still not the enough.
So I'm guessing
the enough is I'm satisfied.
That would be that would mostly, I guess, deal with emotional. That'd be emotional and spiritual growth more so than anything, because it definitely taps it definitely hits into the mental aspect, but I think more so emotional and spiritual growth plays a big part on distinguishing between the two.
Right.
Because there are, even though you can take it into those contexts, like enough is enough and yo, I got enough, I'm straight.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's just how, I guess you have to get to that point.
Right.
That enough, or that even with yourself, most people haven't got to the point yet where they like, I'm enough.
No, that's a good one right there.
So maybe that's the first step, probably, is get to the point where you realize, yo, I'm enough.
Right.
And then when you know you, then if you happen to have a spouse, I feel like before you even take that leap right there, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to that part, you better make sure that you see everything that you need to see at that moment, and whoever that significant other is, before you say, yo, he or she is enough for me.
Well, you know what, bro? Okay, so I had that question to myself. My anniversary just passed. I'm out here with my wife. We celebrating it, right? And I asked myself the question, well, I really didn't ask myself a question. I told myself, this is enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, most people don't even approach that even in the beginning. Like, you really don't say that even when you proposing, you about to take that big step. You know what I'm saying? Like, but here I'm like, all right, we 8 years in. We done been through all this shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling myself right now, she is enough for me. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to look outside of that. I don't have to do none of that. This is enough right here. You know what I'm saying? And that was looking at the overall spectrum, because it wasn't just, oh man, we having a good time. I thought about the entire 8 years, the good, the bad, the ugly, the sad, you know what I'm saying? All of it combined, you know what I'm saying? And it was like, man, I probably couldn't have weathered that storm if she wasn't enough. I probably would have went here if she wasn't enough. You know what I'm saying? You know, I probably would have did this. You get what I'm saying? So on a lot of different aspects of that, you know what I'm saying? Even in the moments where I had my man thinking to myself, I'm fed up with this shit type deal. And her having her moments when she thinking to herself, I'm fed up with this shit type deal. Still
Boy,
enough came in and played a bigger part than that in what we was unsatisfied with. You feel what
I
I'm
feel you
saying?
on that. Well, look. I will be the first thing to let you know. I have plenty. I've had and will probably have plenty
Mm-hmm.
of those conversations with me, myself, and I. Like fuck this. Ooh,
Exactly.
ooh. Walk in the drive and cuss your ass out in a full conversation and see the whole scenario. Get this shit out of me. So when I actually
Yep.
talk to you about it, I'm calm. But
Right.
motherfucker, boy, if you knew what I said while I was
Right.
walking.
If you knew.
If you only knew the shit I said when I was ready to let it go. But now, I think that's just I don't know anybody who's in a marriage who hasn't had that situation when it's like they get fed up.
Yeah.
That's what I said is the difference between fed up and enough. Even when you feel like that person has, and that plays a big role too. When
Right.
you know the person is enough for you. You felt like the person, as they are, was enough to keep you happy for a lifetime. But then their
Right.
ways get you fed up too, where you like, man, I fuck this, I leave. Then you're
Right.
like at that pivotal point.
I'm just saying, okay, so like you just said, man, you know, when you really looking at it, you got your fed up time, right? But
Right?
then your enough, if it's enough, still should kick in and let you know that even
Boom.
though I'm fed up, this is still enough for me. You know what I'm saying? This is
That nigga
still
just
my
dropped
enough.
some gems on y'all ass like he dropped out of PE. That's a Kanye West line. I'm voting for Kanye West, by the way. Yeezus 2020. I see clearly too for y'all. Yeah, nigga, I see 2020 Yeezy. Anyway,
You know,
that's a good point. When you fed up, especially in our situation as marriage, when you
right,
fed up, I think that's a clear indication that whoever you with is enough.
right.
You can actually sit back and then think about it and be like, you know what, this is worth it.
Yeah,
We can
right.
work through this.
Exactly.
Because like I
Exactly.
said, it's a book. You know, I'm big on books. And a
Yeah,
book that I love is the Way of the Superior Man.
right.
Fire book. And I tell everybody this when it comes to like relationship shit that's serious, not this boyfriend. You know how
Yeah.
God dead unmarried told us, you know what I'm saying? Hey yo, be a hoe till you want to get married, baby, because girlfriend, boyfriend ain't in the Bible. That's right.
Yeah, that is not. It's not in
That's
the
right.
Bible.
That's what I was
That's
told
right.
at
It's not biblical.
10.
Right.
I was told
Right.
that shit at 10. So don't blame
Yeah.
me for old me.
Right.
Blame my
That's the
elders.
truth, though.
They
I say that
molded
all
me.
the time,
Ooh,
man.
that shit rhyme, nigga. Bars. Don't blame me for old me. Blame my elders because they molded me. Woo! Die line, die line, die line, die line, because I spit at fire. But anyway,
But that's the truth. It's not in there. It's not biblical.
so like when it comes to that though, in the Way of the Superior Man, it was like a little section, I'm paraphrasing as always, when it was like he said he had a friend that always talking about how he wanted to step outside on his marriage because he had this fine woman or some shit. I think he was just giving a scenario, but he always talking
Mhm.
about how he want to do it, how he going to do it, how he want to do it. And he had got to the point, and he was like, "Yo, man, either you gonna fucking do it or you gonna shut the fuck up.
Right.
Either way, I don't want to
Exactly.
hear it no more."
Right.
And then that segued to him saying, "When you get fed up, either you gonna leave
Right.
or you gonna shut the fuck up and stick
Right.
it out." You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Exactly, man.
but those are your options. He pretty much he's laying it out like, yo, that's your options. Either you
Right.
gonna leave
Right.
or you gonna stay and work it out. But
But see,
don't keep going back and forth with yourself or
right.
bringing anybody else into it because if you ain't gonna leave, What was the point of that?
Right.
Either you gonna
Exactly.
leave because you really fed up, or
Right.
you realize that this is bigger than this moment,
And
and
see,
boom.
and what you just said, D, like them uh golden nuggets my brother just dropped. You know what I'm saying? That is so true. People gotta understand that enough ain't easy.
Oh hell no.
Like that's not an easy road. You know what I'm saying? Like to really be on an enough type tip. Just think about it. Let's just say without your spouse, you in yourself, like you said, D, are you even enough to yourself? And how long does it take for you to get to that point
Boy,
where
some
you
people
are
never
enough for
get
you?
there
Like,
though.
for instance, take all the people out here. Like, you didn't have some beautiful people, but then they look in the mirror and they decide, I'm going to go slice myself up, get all this plastic surgery, do all this because they still ain't enough to they self. Like, they actually fed up with the way they look, and some of them be like beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Like they was beautiful before they got into all of that, but they wasn't enough for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about how hard that is. You would mutilate yourself, your own body, your own temple, because you ain't enough. Now, transition that over into sharing that with somebody else. Enough ain't easy now. Fed up is, hey, that's an easy road to take.
Well, it's easier to when it's crazy too. It's easier to for okay. Let me find the best way to put this because in some situations it's not easy. For me, it's easier to be peaceful than it is to be negative.
Oh,
But
well,
I know there was a time when it was easier for me to be negative as fuck
right.
than to find the light, the little light at the silver lining. It was
Mm-hmm.
easier for me to think, yeah, well, you was gonna fuck me over anyway.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's just
Right.
easier. And I think in this society, especially in this society, but even back in the gap, people were kind of like homegrown to expect the negative. Like you kind of
Right.
came out expecting like hey yo, don't put your faith in man. You know what I'm saying? Put your faith in God. So when you run up
Right.
on anybody, you kind of prepare yourself for the worst. So
Yeah.
if it does transpire, you ain't caught by surprise. That's that survival mode.
Right.
Like
Right.
so you won't get fucked over. So it's easier for our mind to focus on the what if. I remember I was
Right.
gonna write a book on that called the what if factor. But it was like the what if this motherfucker fucked me over. And sometimes you can overly focus on that. And you can bring that shit to fruition because that's what
Oh
you're
yeah.
putting
Most
out
definitely.
in the
Yeah. That's what you put
universe.
now.
But back to your point about people looking at themselves and not being enough, society modes that too. I think that mostly come from your like how you were raised. Like I said, it's a spiritual thing, so spiritual upbringing. That's that part of the health and the mental health that you need to deal with because that comes from a list of things. It's a whole slew of things that can affect the way that you look at yourself in the mirror. And that's the first area that you need to really get to that point of enough in the context of I'm enough. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Right.
can't, because honestly, if you ain't made it to that point yet, if you don't know you,
Right.
you know
Right.
the famous line, my wife and I, she got me watching RuPaul Drag Race. And if you say something, fuck you. It's a pretty good show. Stop judging and watch and sashay your ass away. But anyway, RuPaul got a famous line that says, "You can't love yourself. How the hell you gonna love somebody else?" Right? So it's like self-love and knowing that you're enough, right?
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you're not at that point in your life, and I promise you, it's some people who never get there, and that's so sad. They never fucking get there because
Yeah.
they're so concerned about other people feeling that they're enough that they
Mm-hmm.
don't take the time to be realize that you were born enough.
Yeah. Right.
Every like
Exactly.
from the time you was conceived and brought into this world, everything that you were meant to do was inside of you. So you have everything that you need to like fulfill your purpose. You have every single thing you need the moment you come into this actual realm. You are
See,
prepared. You just have
That,
to manifest the shit. You are enough the moment that you are birthed out. But you have to go through your trials, or you have to go through your storms. You have to get forged in that fire. You got to strengthen the chinks in your armor. You're going to go through that shit because that's life. That's your trial, your test. That's your building up. Like, that's your building up to that moment when you, boom, nigga, I'm enough. And then when you realize you're enough, that's when you can go out here and do what you need to do. And a lot of people, one, they run from their storms, or they run from that fire, or they run from all the things that they need to run into and sit, and they miss lessons. And then they replace that with easier shit. Like, instead of going through this trial, I just stay in this comfort zone. You know what I'm saying? I just stay here, even though it's not good for me. Like, the significant other could be terrible for you, draining your energy. But hey, I know what I'm getting from this motherfucker. So,
see,
that's good enough for me because I'm not good enough for me
but
at the
see,
moment.
even in that, good enough is not enough.
That's
You
what
know
I'm
what I'm
saying.
saying?
That's why I
So
said
it's
that's
like,
good enough for me because I'm not good enough for me at the
and see,
moment.
okay, now I'm gonna go a little spiritual with it, right? All right. So God creates everything before man to make sure that when he create man, he had enough. It was already there. Okay. Man takes it, flip it, okay, into either just being good enough or not enough. But the original design of it is I created it all for you to have enough. And then it wasn't enough for you. Okay. We talk about our boy Lucy, right? Who had it all and it still wasn't enough. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, well, this ain't enough unless I'm God, you know?
You know what? I think that plays. Okay, so to dig into what you just said, I didn't mean to cut you off, but to
No,
dig
go
into
ahead,
what you
bro.
just said, I think that plays probably the most important, one of the most important roles in this when it comes to that enough in that context
Yeah,
is figuring out what's enough for you and not like trying to say because I'm not that, I'm
right,
not enough.
right.
You see what I'm saying?
And
Because Lucy wasn't meant to be God like that.
right, right,
They wanted it, right?
right.
And so
You want it.
that
He had
was
the
a
Joneses.
prideful type jealousy type thing. It's like, yo, I want that.
Yeah,
So
right.
I ain't enough, even though you was enough, like to everybody else. It's like, nah, because I ain't that nigga.
Yeah,
You know what
right.
I'm saying? It's the
Exactly.
same
You
thing
know
that
what I'm
going to
saying?
the gang. You know what I'm saying? We're going to prime example of a nigga that I never understood, who I know had enough, but he kept going. Frank Lucas. Frank Lucas ass made like $1 million a day,
Agree. Yeah. Right.
and he couldn't even count.
Right.
Nigga made 300 at the least minimum. three hundred
Yeah.
and fifty-seven million dollars in 1 year. I don't give a fuck how many times how long he was selling that blue magic. I know he made $1 million a day at one point.
Mhm.
So that means he made at least 364, 365 million in 1 year.
I mean, but
Nigga,
think of that,
what's enough? But see, that's the
bro.
problem with a
Think
lot
of
of
that.
drug dealers. They
Well, it
get
ain't even
so
just
much and still stay. Nigga, what's enough?
see, and that right there, okay, that transcends the long game of enough because like you could have enough and it still not be because you got these other things like envy, greed, jealousy, you know what I'm saying? Pride, all that shit playing into killing yo enough. Like you said, D, if he made $1 million a day, 365 days in a year, and
Nigga,
goddamn, he had $365 million
in 1 year, tax free.
in 1 year tax free. There's no reason to go any further. Enough was already enough shit
In a
way before
year.
this. Yeah.
That nigga could have stopped in a year of
Yeah.
being solid. Look at
Yeah,
the
I
Wolf of
mean,
Wall Street. Look at
solid,
them
man.
niggas. Look at the
No,
Wolf of
and
Wall
wait,
Street.
wait. Not just that, D. Before you hit the Wall Street, in that time, what $1 million was in
Nigga.
that time.
Bro, look
Okay,
at these niggas now. Look at Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates
man.
and all these niggas. There's billionaires.
Right,
There's nothing there. You don't have enough family members to
right,
spend $1 billion.
right.
Do anybody remember Blank Check? Y'all remember that motherfucking movie, Blank Check? That little white boy had he had a hard time spending $1 million back
Yeah,
in the 90s. That
yeah,
nigga couldn't even figure out what to buy. Nigga had mansions, a roller coaster, all type of other cars and shit.
yeah.
$1 million. It was another movie back before then. Richard Pryor. I think it was a baseball. What the fuck was the name of that movie? I think he was like a baseball player. He had a certain amount of time. I don't know if he was a baseball player or he loved baseball, but he only had like a certain amount of time to spend a certain amount of money, and he had to spend all of it, and he couldn't. It's like you got so much money that you don't even know what the fuck to do with it. Like you just wipe your ass with it because hell, you done ran out of room in the bank. All the
That's
banks.
what I'm saying. Now, okay, so now we got we gonna flip it into what's going on socially out here in the world right now, right? With enough. Okay, now you got major players like Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, and them who just dish out $100 million, boom, just like that. Because something hit them on the tip of and enough too. You know what I'm saying? Which is, go ahead, D, because I see you want to flip this on me.
No, I ain't gonna go with them. I was just thinking, because I'm on this wine, I'm on this teleport. It just sent me somewhere. It's like the toad, but minimum, like nowhere near. And all right, so like some of these niggas is like over 100 billion, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's literally only 7.8 billion people in this bitch. They got over 100. They could literally give everybody on the planet $1 billion and still be.
Ain't that some shit, D? Boy,
like,
you just really dropped some statistics there.
They have over 100 billion. Most of these people. It's only 7.8 billion people roughly on here in this bitch. They can give everybody in this bitch $1 billion and still be a billionaire.
Hell yeah. Now tell me that ain't some crazy shit.
Now what the
Look, you
fuck else
on that shit. Go on in the
you have to
podcast
do
right now.
We finna end this shit.
I know.
Make sure y'all like, subscribe, comment, share.
Yeah, you ain't even gotta go no further.
I'm just that ain't enough.
The loaded gun tonight, D, on this topic. That is exactly what I'm saying.
If
man.
that ain't enough, nigga, I don't know what the fuck else did you do?
When is enough enough?
Nigga.
When is enough, man? And we ain't just talking about that fed up shit. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of this now, okay, with the protesters and all that. That's I'm fed up. You know what I'm saying? I'm fed up because you still ain't.
You know what? That's you fed up because you don't realize that you are enough.
Right. That's exactly what the fuck.
From the get go,
you still don't realize that you
enough. We've been enough from the get go.
Right. Right.
You fed up because they mistreating us in this system, but we could have been let go of this motherfucking system.
Man, look,
before
like
we
you just
even
said.
And died and marched to join this bitch. And most of our civil rights leaders didn't even want to join. They just wanted the same rights. But once we got the same rights, we could have snatched back.
But no, D, what you just said, key point. We got enough black billionaires that could give each one of they black people
$100,000. I say $100,000.
No, I'm just saying. We gotta do that. What you said. Could give $1 billion. That means to take that did go to show you right there. You could walk away from this shit at any given time.
Well, no, I want to put it to you like this because most I don't know too many black billionaires, but I will say this. I know it's millionaires. I know it is. But what I will say is you ain't even got to go that far. And you should want to give back. I'm not saying they have to. They should though. You can give every black person on earth $10,000 and watch what they do for them.
But what I'm saying is, if you wanted to do it right, and you wanted to, what's the word? The civil rights leaders was fighting for what?
Equality.
Equality in what?
Freedom.
In that time, they didn't want to be integrated, right?
Well, no, not really.
They didn't want to integrate.
They just wanted to.
So this is what I'm saying.
They wanted to have the same rights. but they ain't want to
But this is
integrate
my
with
thing.
niggas.
We always say that the same rights is their system, basically.
Pretty
Okay,
much.
still that's their system. We got enough millionaires right now. We ain't gonna even say millionaires right now that if we wanted to take each black person, get on a motherfucking boat, go to our own island, we would still have enough to do our own thing and create our own system and our own society. We don't have to because, like you said, we always been enough.
Fuck that, I'm moving to wherever Akon get done with Wakanda in Senegal, I'm going over there, nigga.
Yeah, I heard about that
Wakanda
too.
forever. That nigga doing it. I'm
Yeah,
going
man.
with, soon as they say that shit finished, I'm on the I'm gone, motherfucker. Think it's a game. Shit.
But you
Wakanda
see what I'm
forever.
saying? I mean, it's really peeling off of what you just said. Okay, it's enough money circulating throughout blacks to really make it happen if we wanted to.
But that's the thing. That goes back to enough. A lot of people just don't feel like, even when they look back at us, our culture, they don't feel like it's enough to even invest in, or to help. You know what I'm saying? It's not enough. They at that point where that's not enough. Most of them ain't even at the point where they enough. They just striving to be enough. And then when some of them realize that they actually are enough, then that's when they start to give back. So to answer the very first question, when is enough enough, is when you get to the point when you realize you're enough. And then when you realize you're enough, that's when you start to really gauge enough in that context. Like, yo, my wife is enough for me. I'm happy. The job that I might be working, it's enough because it allows me to do what I want to do. It allows me to do my purpose. My purpose is enough. Like with me, I only train a certain amount of people, and that's enough for me. What I charge them is perfect for me because that's enough for me. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's when you start to really be able, like your foundation is solid at that point when it comes to enough because you're solid. I don't think you can do anything if you're not solid with yourself first. So it's like, once you get completely solid with yourself and realize you're enough, then everything else you're able to gauge, yo, that's enough. You know what I'm saying? Or if it's not, if you even have any doubts that it's enough or not enough, you can like not invest, but you can what's the word I'm looking for? You can divest into that. I guess that's the word I'm looking for, to make it or try to help them get to enough. Like I tell everybody, well, I don't tell everybody, but I tell a lot of people, you ain't got to go outside of your shit if you ain't satisfied or you feel like, that ain't the body you want just significant other to have or some shit like that. Hell, help them get to that point. Like invest that into them. If you feel like there was enough to put that much into it, then invest more into them. Create that type of situation to where it's like, yo, fuck it, I'll get you there. And then you good.
See, and okay, something you just said, man. Like, my wife had said when we first started dating, she didn't think that she didn't think that, well, she thought that I thought that she wasn't my type because my type was always, I guess that Coca-Cola bottle type figure, you know what I'm saying? And she was, thick, you know what I'm saying? So she was like, I'm not his type. And, I was thinking about that. Like, I did have a type at one point, but when I got, divorced, I wasn't looking for a type because that wasn't feeling my enough. You know what I'm saying?
The first or the second time, just to clarify.
Okay. Yeah, the second time. It
wasn't. Look, I'm gonna go off the first, bro. I don't count your second. Yeah. I will refuse to count that shit. That was a spell. You understand what I'm saying? That was a root. Yeah, I know. That was a root.
For me, that wasn't enough anymore. I mean,
you realized that wasn't.
That wasn't even close to.
I've been saying you realized that your type, And that's a lot of people issue too. They stuck on a type. This is my
Right.
type. This is my type. And for me, this is what I feel. I feel like at that point that maybe you wasn't enough for you yet. And then when you got to the point where you were satisfied with you, then you realize that the type that you thought was your type wasn't your type because you wasn't even enough for you yet.
Yeah,
So
that's
you
true, bro.
was at the stage where, you was still trying to figure you out. So
Yeah, I mean
this will work.
that's true too because most of my prayers was, man, I want to be able to take care of my family. I want to be able to, you know what I'm saying? And I wasn't enough for me to me. That was one of the problems that I had when me and her first started dating. She wanted to get married, but I felt like I wasn't enough to be a husband right now. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't have enough to provide. You know what I'm
Bro,
saying?
I always thought I was gonna end up with a Spanish chick. I ain't gonna lie, light skin, Spanish, Dominican. I don't give a fuck. I wanted a nigga. Yes, that was
Yeah.
me. I was like, I'm gonna give me a Spanish bitch. Speak Spanish, nigga. Hey, papi, papi. And then I fucked around. I got me an island chick, and then I thought that was it. But then it was like, nah. Then I met Jay, and I was like, well, shit, yo, she speaks Spanish. That's close enough. Close enough, nigga. Shit, hey, that's close enough, motherfucker. Yeah, damn it. 4 out of 5 is a damn
I know,
bullseye
right?
for me, motherfucker. Maybe I'm tripping. You know what I'm saying? I am tripping. Let me go ahead and stop playing. Yeah, let me stop playing. Go and wear this beautiful Nubian goddess.
Yo,
Stop
that's real
bullshit.
shit though.
He can
You
speak
know?
Spanish good enough for me.
Yeah. Well, you know me,
See,
man. I
Papi.
don't always like chocolate. So, that's just
Bruh,
that was
I
my
never had a
that was
preference
my
on that except as long as they was black and
well,
not white.
that was my type. I didn't date it, you know what I'm saying, you know, but that was part of the type,
I
you
feel
know.
you.
When this, like I said, with China, it was just different, man, across the board. You know what I'm saying? Like completely out of the type thing. I didn't want the type thing. I wanted a wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I want enough. You know what I'm
Yo,
saying?
Segway. Next topic. I just got it.
What is it, bro? Well, you know what?
Spanish
Say.
bitches. No, I'm playing. What about the Spanish girl? I'm about to send you that video with my nigga Cav on TV. I'm married. I'm about to send you that. That shit is classic to me, boy. Oh, I gotta see you. I'm gonna see you that shit when we get off it. But no, next topic I think should be marriage.
Hey, man, it need to be. It really do. Now that'll be one to bring it in. You
That'd
know?
be a good one. Just
Yeah.
marriage in the eyes of us. And then I have
Yeah.
more wine then, because I ran out now. I have more then.
But yeah, man. I just wanted to bring this in, man, because I don't think a lot of people look at the enough. And I
E-
think they do get that kind of twisted with the fed up. And them are two total different things. So I wanted to bring it from that because I hear a lot of people when they out here saying, enough is enough. But really, no, that's just you fed up, you know.
It's more so out of the concept of enough, how you looking at enough.
Yeah.
And if it's the enough that you get in your mind coming from a place of I'm tired of this shit, then that's not what
Yeah.
we're actually talking about. Like
Right.
enough should come to a spot to where it's like, yo, you can get to a couple of places where it's like, yo, I've done enough. Like when it came to music, for me it was like I stopped. I was like, yo, nigga, I've done enough
Right.
with music. I assist as much as possible, but I know this is not what I'm meant to do. I've done enough. I'm
But see,
satisfied with what I've done.
what you just said, even when you look up the definition of enough, that's the one thing it says. Like it's satisfied. You satisfied or sufficient. You know what
There
I'm
it
saying?
is.
With what it is that you have. You know what I'm saying? Like enough is, man, hey, I'm good. Like
Like
I'm
and
full. You know what I'm
exactly,
saying?
I'm full,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I said
It's
that a
not
lot with people. I say I'm sorry when I say that a lot with full. Like getting full is don't leave this bitch full, but make sure you
Right.
get full before you leave this bitch.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like I didn't had my feel, my feel on it. You know what I'm saying? It didn't fill me up. You know?
Like, but you can apply that once you get it. You can apply that concept to everything. Like when it comes to going out and clubbing and all this shit, the streets of the city life. You know, we came from Chicago, so
Right.
we can move
Right.
down here. Nigga, like, yo, I want to go to that. I'm like, nigga, I had a like, I'm good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm good.
Shit.
I had enough of that. I
I'd
live.
rather live
I'm
secluded as a
satisfied.
motherfucker, nigga. I'm
Right.
happy as hell not being around all this shit. But it's like,
Yeah.
nigga, I had enough of
Yeah.
that. You know what I'm saying? You can apply that to like every aspect on life. You know, I was satisfied. I'm full here. There's
Yeah.
nothing
I'm
more I
good.
can do
Yeah.
here. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So I'm going to invest my time into something else that I know that I can prosper in. Even with education, like you said earlier, you know, I had enough. I don't need to go back to school for shit.
Right.
I'm
Exactly.
good. You know what I'm
But
saying?
now you can transition that, right?
Now I
Because
could
like
exactly.
I can say, all right, I can give you why I didn't had enough and explain it and break it down to you to where it's respected. Like you
You can
said,
pay it
if I'm
forward
with my
at that
boys
point.
and I'm like, hey, I ain't going to the club because I had enough of that, then I can educate you on why, not come with it ignorance.
You can pay it forward. It's
Yeah, I
like
can pay it forward. Right. Well,
even with this.
some people though, they got an ignorance there that, you know what I'm saying, you really can't because you ain't never been. So you
Ah,
don't, you feel what I'm saying?
yeah,
Your
they ain't never
enough is
experienced
different
that.
because your enough is, it could be a fear. Or like you said, D, with niggas who you be trying to get that information to and who say they want it, but then, you know what I'm saying, don't really want it. You know, but they be in that point. They be in that same point where, you know, man, I ain't, you know, I need enough. And then you trying to give them, but the ignorance of it all.
Well, you know,
You
I
know?
came to the point where I've had enough with that, and they even fed up. I even fed up with. I was fed up at first, but now I'm at the point where it's like, yo, it's not my job for you to receive what I'm trying to give to you. It's my purpose to pay it forward, and whether you receive it or not,
That's
I
on you.
did what I meant to do.
Yeah.
Like I
You
tried.
did what you were
And
supposed to
if you
do.
didn't want the information, that's not on me. You know what I'm saying? But I tried. It never
Right.
said I had to keep trying, but I tried hard that
Yeah.
first time. So you know what I'm saying? If you
Yeah.
denied it that first time, I ain't nothing that I can give to you. You know, I didn't gave you what you needed, and I left it open for you to ask.
Yeah.
And if you don't jump, then you know I'm satisfied with
Right.
knowing that I at least tried to pay it forward. Even when it comes to the music thing that we're doing, I might not dib and dab in music like that no more, but I can pass down what I know to my nephews or to
Right.
the people, the
Exactly.
artists that's affiliated with Dream Beats, and let them know, hey, yo, this is what I noticed because I've
Right.
been there. You know what I'm saying? I might not
Right.
actually get in there
Exactly.
engineer your shit for you, but I can tell you what, hey, yo, maybe take this back, tweak this,
Right.
boom. You know what I'm saying? I can
Yeah.
pay that
Yeah.
forward, and then that would help you in the long run. I think it's all about getting to the point, like you said, when you're full and you know
Yeah.
you're full. Then that's when you know you had enough at a certain situation to where now you can transform that, or transmute that energy into, all right, I received all this. Now let me give it back in a way that I
Oh
can
yeah.
give it back.
And that's just going full circle with it. Like
Pretty much.
that is really going full circle. You know.
Pretty much. That's it. That's all it is to it. But at first, the most important step I want people to understand is you can't get to enough in that context until you get to you being enough for you.
That's true. Agreed, man.
Because you gotta know
100%.
you in order to know what the fuck you here to do and what you like, why are you here in the first place. And you
Right.
will never figure that out if you're not enough for you, because then you're gonna be searching for enough in other people.
Yeah. Pretty
You'll
much.
never
And
get that.
it'll never be enough.
Yeah, you can't get
Yeah.
that from other
It'll never
people
be.
because can't
Yeah.
nobody give you what you missing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because in reality,
Well,
you're not missing
right. That's what I'm saying. Or you
it.
not noticing that you're not missing
You're
it. You know
not
what I'm saying?
missing it. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? You're just not tapping into it.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So that's all that is to it. So that's all the way back, bringing it all the way back. That's the question. Enough is enough when you realize you're enough, and then you
Right.
move from there. And
Right.
sometimes that take a long path for motherfuckers to
It does
realize.
take a long path. But you know what, D? I can even say this, man. Okay, even in marriage, since you say that's gonna be our next topic, I'm gonna slice it up and try to end it this way.
All right.
You know it's enough when even you can start paying that forward in that context of your relationship. When I can start paying it back, it ain't about really me, because I got me. You know what I'm saying? Now I want to give it to you. You know what I'm saying? You want to give it to me, because we ain't in that context of, you know what I'm saying, trying to figure it out for us. We in the context of I'm already full. So this is enough, you know what I'm saying, for us and our oneness.
Got you.
And we can pay it back in full. And I say that because I noticed the way my sons, look at me in my marriage. I noticed the way my daughters look at me in my marriage, and they let me know that I'm paying it back. You know what I'm saying? When they could look at me, and it's just certain things they expect. Even um, like my outside kids is what I call them. You know what I'm saying? Because they still my sons and daughters too. But like my daughter's friends, and you know what I'm saying, like Sean brought us a card for our anniversary, and the one thing he said was, y'all just don't know how much y'all mean to me, in showing me what oneness is really supposed to look like. You know what I'm saying? What a family unit is supposed to look like. And that, man, that was beautiful, because it's like, okay, my enough is reflecting something. You know what I'm saying? So much so that it's transcending what me and my wife do. In all honesty, even your enough is not about you.
Well,
It's
yeah.
paying it forward to somebody else, whether you notice it or not.
Well, once you
So
get
we,
to the pay it forward part, that's when you're working in your purpose. No matter
oh,
how
most
you
definitely.
paying it for it, and
Yeah,
as we already said, your purpose ain't about you. Period.
right,
So your purpose is never about you. Is you're involved in it heavily, true enough,
right,
but it's not about you. So it's about what you do, not about you per se, as in me.
exactly,
It's about what do you do for
right,
others when it comes to your purpose. But you can't get there until you realize you are enough, and then you start paying it forward. So paying it forward, it just translates to fulfilling your purpose, and sometimes it just comes from different angles with that. You know what I'm saying? You can be fulfilling you doing what you were meant to do will branch off. It's like a tree. It'll branch off into many different things.
mm-hmm,
And it could be like you being the man that you need to be, a woman you need to be within your marriage, and people watching you will definitely influence the people who are watching you. You know what I'm saying? In a way, we ain't never
right.
had that.
Yeah,
And that's
most
not your
definitely,
intention. You
right,
just doing what you were meant, like you like, yo, I'm just doing what I feel I need to do. And then people looking at that like, yo, that's beautiful. I want something like that. So
right,
I'm gonna strive to be that. And then they have to go through their journey to figure out what works for them,
right.
find themselves, realize they are enough, and then it just start paying it forward, trickling down. It's a snowball effect.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. That's what I'm saying, man. It's really, it transcends all, man. That's when it really steps in. I remember a certain prayer of mine was, I wanted my marriage to be an example of what God's love really, what he really meant for that to look like. You know what I'm saying? Like the perfect balance, not perfection, but the perfect balance. You know, I don't need people to understand that too, because you're gonna have your good and your bad, no matter what. But it's like the perfect storm. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that is balance.
Yeah,
Good and
that's what I'm
bad
saying.
is balance.
Yeah, it's the balance. Not just perfection. A lot of people was looking for perfection. You know what I'm saying? But that never was what I was looking for. So I wanted the perfect balance. You know what I'm saying? And then that is enough.
Got you.
You feel what I'm saying? That balance is enough. You know. So that's
Hey,
really what it is, man.
you know what I'm saying? So to wrap this shit up,
Yo.
make sure you are enough before you
Yeah.
try to figure out somebody else enough.
Yes. Yes.
Because you can't pull it out of nobody else, nigga. You want to be 100, the person or whatever you doing. Yeah,
Right.
all aspects. You come in at 100, fill out and see if the motherfucking thing that you're striving to conquer or achieve is 100. That way,
Right.
when you come into that energy, it's 100 and 100 equal 200, baby. You become a superpower. Ain't no 50-50, nothing. Because that's just 100.
Perfect balance,
You
baby.
automatically got to pull. And that means
That's
y'all
right.
ain't enough at the moment. You want to step into any situation 100 and make sure that the other part of that situation is 100 as well. Not 80, not 20, not 50, because they automatically going to have to pull from you to become 100.
That's right.
Keep that in my mind. If they ain't 100 or the job ain't 100, the significant other ain't 100 at the moment, whatever it is, if it ain't 100 in your soul at the moment, then understand that if you choose to pursue that they're going to pull your energy. Okay? You will not be
Yeah.
100.
That's
And you
right.
will not be where you need to be. Make sure you are enough, or you could be where you need to be, where you are enough and you got 100, but understand your energy gonna be pulled, and that's what you're gonna be in.
Right. That's
So,
right.
as they say in the way of superior man, nigga, if you put yourself in that situation, either you gonna leave that bitch or you gonna shut the fuck up. And on that note,
Right.
we're gonna do this good old Berg salute, god damn it.
Salute.
So it's up to it, down to it. Fuck those who don't do it. We do it because we used to it. Drink, motherfucker, drink. And on that note, we will see y'all next week. Same motherfucking time, same motherfucking channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment. Tell all your motherfucking friends and family and your auntie at the goddamn barbecue with the boots on. All right? They are welcome as well.
Yes, sir.
Keep a smile on your goddamn face and love in your heart. Stay focused.
Yes.
Stay disciplined. Stay dope.
Stay dope.